Welcome. This is Paula Chafee-Scardomalia of DiviningTheMuse.com with your Monday Tarot message from the Muse for the week of October 16th. Okay, your theme for the week is a major arcana card. This is the Hermit. And as you can imagine that the word implies, the Hermit appreciates solitude. But you can see also he's got the sign of Virgo at his neck, the sign of attention to details, creating things that are lovely and beautiful. Here he has his wand and the light. The Hermit is the one who follows his own path, his own trail, and then holds up the light for others to follow in his footsteps. This week, you need to be the hermit for your creative work. Look for opportunities to give yourself some time for silence and solitude in order to tap deeply into your creative work, your story, and through your story, through your creative work, you hold the light up for others. You set an example of how to tap into your divine creativity. Your focus for the week is another major arcana card. So this is not a low energy week, it's a rather high energy week. And the focus is on the card Justice. And you can see this is the number 11. You can see the woman in the white robe on one side, the woman in a dark robe on the other. She holds the scrolls. This one holds the sword point down, and between them is the scales. This is a sign of Libra, and the scales of balance in things, relationships and other things. So your focus this week is to look where you need to balance the inner work, as in the example of the Hermit, and the outer work, where you need to be out communicating about your work and letting others know that it's there. This is also, you can see this might perhaps be research and then the writing, research, writing. So look for that balance this week. Ask yourself, are you creating enough balance? Do you need to take more action or do more inner work? Then the action is being the High Priestess. Again, another major arcana card. So you can see the owl here, the sign of Isis on her forehead. She holds the pomegranate with all the seeds of knowledge and wisdom, the scrolls. You can see she's rising out of the water. The High Priestess stands at the border between the conscious and the unconscious and pulls back the curtain so you can access the deep wisdom of the unconscious. And of course the owl being Athena's bird, the bird of wisdom. So this week you're to take action. You're to, again, as in with that balance question, how do you balance between the inner and outer work? This week you're to take the action and move back and forth between the two. It's not sitting in one for the week or in the other. It's really accessing the deep unconscious and then bringing it into the light so that you can write your story, share your wisdom and your creative work. And then finally, not a major arcana card, but a royal, so we're still very active here. This is the King of Swords in the position of gift. Swords is the element of air in the realm of mind, thoughts, attitudes, beliefs, and communication. I just spent a weekend with a bunch of writers, and I really, when I'm working with writers, swords comes up a lot. So the king is the master of the element of air, and you can see, of course, all the inner confidence and surety in his power and his position, because the sword point is down. He doesn't need to threaten anybody with it. He just needs to stand firmly in who he is. And that's the gift you receive this week. The knowledge that you have the gift of communication, the gift of story and creativity, that you don't have to impress anybody, just be yourself. And that surety, that knowledge is the gift that you receive when you give yourself the time and solitude that the Hermit suggests. So as we look at the story for this week, it's a very powerful week in terms of really connecting with the unconscious and accessing deep story. And you can only do that when you give yourself the opportunity to be the hermit. That is, give yourself time for silence and solitude. Not enough of it in our culture. So give yourself, anytime that opportunity arises this week, let yourself go into that. And then ask yourself, am I creating enough of a balance between the inner and outer work? between research and writing, between thinking and creating. How is the balance moving for me? Then take action this week. Really be the high priestess of your creativity. Allow yourself to access the deep knowledge and intuitive wisdom of the high priestess. And then finally, receive the gift of that inner confidence and that knowledge and wisdom that you are the master, the mistress of your creative work. And this is Paula Chafee Scardamelia of DiviningTheMuse.com, wishing you divine musings.